I think the Armidale's seen a lot of changes, but I think the most significant changes were after the 1967 referendum. I mean, that was a historical event in Australian history, and it certainly was a positive event for the future of Aboriginal people right throughout Australia. I think the resounding vote of yes was over 90% of voters said yes, we will recognise Aboriginal people as Australians. I think that changed the way for many Aboriginal Australia, that changed the way for Aboriginal Australia. It come, a few years afterwards, a few Aboriginal leaders, young Aboriginal leaders, one of whom was my cousin Billy Craigie from Moree. They decided to go down to Parliament House in Canberra, on the lawns of Parliament House, and set up a tent. And that was the start of the tent embassy back in January 1972. Because the young boys down there was quite a few of them, but I know Billy Craigie was one of them, and women too, young men and women, with Aboriginal men and women with the support of their non-Aboriginal friends, went down there and demanded to the government that Aboriginal people are excluded from a lot of things that happen in Australia, and they thought that all the other countries in the world, they can come here and they can get fair treatment, and they can have an embassy to make sure their citizens are looked after, but not the Aboriginal people. So the Aboriginal people decided to go down there and said, we'll set up our own tent embassy, and we'll demand to the government that we want equal rights, we want equality, we want a fair go, we want access to all the services and all the programs that the rest of Australia get. Because at that time, back in the early 70s, not every Aboriginal person had equal rights. So I think the referendum changed the thinking of Australian people. It made government stand up and take a look and realise that we do have a large Aboriginal population here, some living in third world conditions, and generally Aboriginal people are not recognised as citizens in Australia. But the referendum, which very much changed the constitution of Australia to recognise Aboriginal people as equal. The tent embassy, that really raised awareness to government, particularly at a federal level in Canberra, when there was a group of Aboriginal people right outside Parliament House. So every parliamentarian that walked past had to notice that there was Aboriginal